watchers and listeners, welcome back to another episode of What We Watch. My name is Natalie, and this is my co-host,
Garrett.
Garrett.
That was a weird introduction.
Hey, just keeping y'all on your
Uh,
toes. But welcome back to another episode. This week we watched Hannah Montana the movie.
yeah.
Literally gave zero thought into picking that movie and had to do it on the spot. So I guess that's what
Hmm.
happens. Sorry, Garrett.
It's okay. Whatever.
Um, Also thought it would be a nice breath of fresh air after Man of Steel, our hour and a half episode, to give you maybe a shorter one. So crossing our fingers there. I think we can do it, Garrett.
We'll try to get under an hour, under 50 minutes if we're feeling crazy.
Under 50 minutes if we're feeling
Uh,
extra crazy. But we're so glad you're with us. If it's your first time, welcome to the channel. If it is your fifth time, welcome back. We would love it if you liked this video, subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media, follow us on your podcasts, wherever you listen. And we appreciate your support. So,
Woo.
we are going to just get right into it. I have a couple fun facts. Should we start with that or with the fun questions?
let's start with the fun questions first.
Okay. My fun questions are like thinking of Hannah Montana,
Hmm.
if you were to have like a secret identity, like what would your secret identity be and maybe like give it a name?
Yeah. Like, do I have to be in the music industry?
No, you
Like, we're
don't have to be a
saying,
pop star. Like I'm like, would you be an actor? Would you be like a businessman? Like what, a director? Like just something that like nobody could recognize you for
uh-huh.
in public. I mean, yeah, like when you are out and about, like what would you do?
This is a really good question. And this is why we need to send each other our notes beforehand so we can think this over because I really love this question. But off the top of my head, when you were saying it, I was like, I don't know what I was going to pick. And then it came to me immediately. I would want to be a WWE fighter. That would be my alter ego.
Love it.
Um, and I would be Jack Skellington. If you know who I am, if you see me in person, you would know
Just
that
based
that
on the
name is
body.
is very apt. And I would wear like a skeleton mask and like a skeleton morph suit, and like my whole shtick would be like I'd jump in at random, really important fights and just like kick them in the balls and then run away, and that's my whole character. And I'd do numbers,
Incredible.
and I'd
I
show up to
love
like
it.
Royal Rumbles and just crazy important fights. And maybe I wouldn't even be, since spoilers, WWE is scripted, maybe I wouldn't even be in the script. I would just show up and ruin things, and then I would be a fan favorite character, but you wouldn't know that it's me. But yeah, Jack Skellington.
I love it. That
Hmm.
is a fun answer. Even after I wrote down this question, I was like, I have no idea what I would do. But just probably because I grew up thinking I wanted to be Hannah Montana and I literally like sang in my talent show, I would have followed the path of singing. And
Hmm.
even though I'm not a good singer, spoiler alert, I know you guys have heard some of my little um, snippets here and there, but
Vocalizations.
but yeah. And then I don't know what I don't. I'm trying to think. I kind of want to do like the name state thing,
Hmm.
but Hannah Montana is just so iconic. How can you even be better than that?
Hmm.
What's even a state that you could rhyme a name with?
Hmm. That's a good question.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of
Well,
states.
I'm like Alabama, Alaska. Again, the singing, not
Jane,
good.
Jane Maine.
Jane Maine, that would be me.
Hmm.
And then I'd be like, my whole thing, how Hannah Montana, she's a pop star, but like she kind of has like country. I'd be all
uh,
East Coast, like vibes.
yeah,
Love it. Jane
Jane
Maine,
Maine.
the
Hmm.
ripoff of Hannah Montana. Okay, I love it. Okay, and then thinking of, oh, I just wanted to ask you, I'll just ask you now. It's not like really a fun
Hmm.
question. But in this movie, there are a lot of like surprise cameos slash like
Uh-huh.
random actors that it's like, what the? They're in that
Yeah.
movie? Which one
Hmm.
was the most shocking?
I think Taylor Swift one was the most that was just, oh, what? You're in this movie?
Oh, it's
She just
Taylor
showed
Swift.
up, had the best like vocals of any song in the movie, and then just left and never came back. And it was like, what? Who is her character? Like, is that just Taylor Swift? Like, what?
It
But
is
I think
just Taylor Swift. She plays herself.
the most shocking was probably Natalia Dyer, honestly.
I know, isn't that crazy at the end?
It's just like,
Natalia
what?
Dyer, for those who don't know, plays Nancy in Stranger Things.
Yeah. Because I think the Taylor Swift one was because I have seen this movie before. I don't know if I've seen it all the way through, but I've seen snippets of this movie growing up with my sisters and stuff. So there was moments in this movie where I'd get like a flash, like a Vietnam flashback of, oh, I've seen this before. And the Taylor Swift scene, immediately it was shocking, but I was also like, oh, I think I kind of remember this now.
Yeah,
The Natalia Dyer thing just caught
had
me
no
way
idea.
off guard. I was like, what the? So
That's so
that was
funny.
funny. That was crazy.
I know. And then some other surprise guests for our listeners, if you haven't seen this movie, didn't watch it recently. Um, Taylor Swift was probably the biggest one. There's the Rascal Flatts is in this, like the
Hmm.
group is in it, and they actually use their music, like God Bless the Broken Road, quite frequently in the movie. Jan from The Office plays Billy
That
Ray
one was pretty
Cyrus's
shocking. That one was pretty
love
shocking.
interest. Dude, that one's crazy,
Yeah.
right?
And her
Um,
accent like just goes in and out the
I
whole
know,
movie and it's
it's so
really
funny.
funny.
And then I caught Natalia Dyer, and then Tyra Banks is in it for like a second for like a
Mhm.
little cat fight moment. But yeah, I
I
thought
don't
that
think
that was funny.
I don't think anybody will really understand this. Maybe a few people will get this one, but Margot Martindale plays her grandma in this movie,
Mm.
and she is a very big character actress. If you've ever watched BoJack Horseman, I know you probably haven't,
I know what
but
it is
BoJack
though.
Horseman, yeah, it's that Netflix like adult comedy animated show. It's very, very good. I would recommend anybody watch it, but it is kind of sad. But anyways, they make like Margot Martindale, like the actress, is a big character in that show because of how famous she is as just a random character actress that'll just appear in movies and stuff. So a reoccurring joke is that Margot Martindale will just randomly appear in an episode, like, and it's like her voice as well, like it's the actress herself playing herself, and she's like a reoccurring villain in the show. So as someone
That's
who's
so
watched
funny.
BoJack Horseman, it was very funny to be like, what the like
Like she just
Margot
showed
Martindale,
up.
yeah,
She's
and
actually
she was
really
really
good in
good,
this movie, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Was she ever in the show?
So in the show, I don't know who I talked to recently about this, but her grandmas aren't in it, but Dolly Parton plays Hannah, like Miley Stewart's godmother. And in real
That's funny.
life, Dolly Parton is Miley Cyrus's godmother. So
Really?
it's just like, yeah. So like Dolly Parton, some people are like, oh, Dolly Parton's in that movie. And it's like, no. And some people are
Hmm.
like, Dolly Parton is her grandma. And it's like, no,
No.
it's her godmother. But
Yeah.
at least I think I'm getting that right. That would be
Hmm.
really embarrassing if that was wrong. Maybe, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So,
Yeah. And then Brooke
um,
Shields is her mom for
Brooke Shields
like,
is her mom, yeah.
is she
And you
in
see her
the
for a
show?
second. Yes. Brooke Shields is in the show a couple times, if I'm remembering right. I know that there was an episode that she for sure was in that I'm like getting mini flashbacks of. Obviously, I haven't seen
Yeah.
the show in its entirety in a very, very long time, so not completely sure, but I'm pretty sure because I think that's why they like have the picture and stuff. I at least
Yeah.
think that so there was one more season of the show after this movie came out and then it was done.
Mm.
And it was like the Hannah Montana Forever thing. So it was like a new set. Cause did you know like that's why they Disney Channel is interesting because they only can do contracts for so long or something, or like,
Hmm.
so when they have a successful show, they like rebrand it. So if you've noticed, like Sweet Life of Zach and Cody then turned to Sweet Life on Deck, or like,
Yeah.
just so that they can continue the show. And so it was like Hannah Montana and then it was Hannah Montana Forever. So, um, and I think a couple other shows have done that too. So if you're
Hmm.
ever wondering, I'm not sure why exactly, but that's kind of my understanding of it.
Yeah. It's probably something to do with
Something to do
like,
with like kid actors.
yeah, contracts and also just like boosting viewership. Like if viewership of Hannah Montana is going down. If they rebrand, it'll at least for a few of those opening episodes boost ratings and stuff like that.
Yeah. But anyways, were there any other questions? I can't remember if I missed
Just
one.
to that point, something that I read up on was this was originally supposed to be like the last Hannah Montana thing
Mm-hmm.
until afterwards they're like, actually, let's just do one more season
Yeah.
because of how successful just Hannah Montana, the character that Disney had created, was doing. They were just
Yeah.
like, let's throw in one more season.
Definitely boosted, like, I
Mm.
mean, I think Hannah Montana was iconic by itself and
Yeah.
like didn't really need like a movie and everything, but definitely made it from like what it was to like what it is. Like it
Hmm.
was just like a kids show and then it actually like became kind of a cultural like thing. Like
Yeah.
and like Miley Cyrus will forever be Hannah Montana, like to
Yeah.
pretty much everybody. So I'm gonna read some fun facts for us. Um, so first of all, the director, his name is Peter Chelsom. He also did the movie Serendipity, which is like a pretty big
Oh,
rom-com,
interesting. Yeah.
which I thought was interesting. I was like, who directed this? Like, had he done any other work? So I looked it up and I thought that was cool. He honestly hasn't done a ton of other stuff. Like, he has done other works, but nothing that was like as big as I think these two were. Or
Hmm.
I don't know if it, yeah, anyways, I think that was my fun fact. And then I don't know why I'm questioning myself on everything, but, and then
As you're like reading it
and
off your
like
phone.
reading my notes, but like I hope that I'm understanding this correctly. If I'm not,
Yeah.
then whatever. But okay, and then the movie was a theatrical release. It wasn't like a
Mm.
made for TV movie. And it opened at number one. And it actually earned over $150, $55 million worldwide, which I thought was kind of
Hmm.
cool. And I think it was more than Disney like expected to make off of it, which is kind of crazy. It came out in like April 2009, and so some other movies that came out at that time, which I thought was kind of fun, was Monsters vs. Aliens, 17 Again, Night at the Museum, Battle at the Smithsonian, and I just thought that that was funny because like those are some of our like classic movies from our childhood. So,
That's just such a time capsule era
isn't it?
of just like all of those movies. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like being in our grandparents' basement and just watching those all the time. Like
Yeah.
that's crazy. I didn't
Yeah.
realize
So,
that.
and those all came out in like March, April, May of 2009. All right, Garrett. So I have a little trivia for you. There have
Hmm.
been like three Disney Channel like movie theatrical releases. Do you know what the other two are?
So does High School Musical 3 count even though that's not based on a
Yes.
show? Okay.
Yes.
So it's High School Musical 3. Um, I was reading up on this, but I can't remember. Is the other one the Hannah Montana concert?
No, but that is a good guess. It's
Because that's
not,
one
it's
that I
not,
saw was
yeah.
theatrically released.
Yeah, because Hannah Montana the concert did get released, but
Yeah.
I didn't count that. Do you have any other
Okay, give
guesses?
me give me a hint. Is it older or newer than High School Musical 3?
Older, so it came out in 2003.
2003.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Is it based on a show?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the Even Stevens movie?
No, but that's close. Think more girly.
Oh, the Cheetah Girls.
No, that one
What?
was made for TV.
Twitches?
No. It was based off of a show, remember? Cheetah Girls I
Yes,
think
based
is
off a
separate.
show from the early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Like early
Do you want,
Disney Channel then.
yeah, kind of, yeah.
Give me another hint. Don't tell me what it is. Give me another hint.
Okay, it they go on a school trip to Spain.
Oh, the Lizzie
The
McGuire.
Lizzie McGuire movie, which I didn't even know was
Dang.
made like I didn't know that they released that in theaters. So I
Yeah,
thought that that was fun.
I always forget that that was a show, so I
Yeah.
don't think I would have gotten that one. I only remember the movie.
Crazy. Yeah, so those
Dang.
are the three. And then like I said, Hannah Montana the movie made $155 million worldwide. Lizzie
Hmm.
McGuire movie made $55 million worldwide. And then do you want to give a guess for High School Musical 3?
Is it more than both of these, or is it?
Mm-hmm.
I think I've seen this before. I've read up on this before. Was it 400 million in that range?
No, it's less than that.
300 million?
Close. 253 million.
Still, like that's
Crazy.
that they probably turned a profit on that like big time because that
No,
probably
for
movie
how low
was not
budget those
expensive.
movies are,
Yeah.
like crazy. But yeah.
Also, fun fact in regards to High School Musical 3, which inevitably we are doing an episode on High School Musical.
For sure.
Um, but there is, which I was shocked when I figured this out, like tons of those songs. I want to say at least five of those songs in that soundtrack of High School Musical 3 were in consideration for an Oscar for like best original song,
Yes. Yes. Which, I
which
mean,
is like makes sense. Like it really does make sense because some of
it's
those songs are really
really
good.
good. Well, okay,
Hmm.
that actually kind of gives me a good lead in into one of the most iconic things that came out of the Hannah Montana movie was is the song "The
The
Climb."
Climb.
Very popular, did super well. And it won a couple awards. One of them was MTV Movie Award for Best Song from a Movie, which is cool. It never reached number 1 on the like Billboard 100, but it reached number 3 or 4. And then it was nominated for a Grammy for Best Song Written for a Motion Picture. So,
Interesting.
hey, I feel like I'm like, isn't Disney Channel, it's dead now?
Yeah,
I wish that they would have done more theatrical releases. Like, they
for
obviously
real.
were successful. And especially
Well,
for how low budget they were. Like, I'm like,
uh,
why did they do more?
that goes into my fun fact that I found for this, which I was very, very shocked to figure out and kind of well, before I get into that, one last thing I wanted to say about the High School Musical Oscar thing was the last song that was in consideration, which ultimately didn't get a nomination, but was like super, super close. Is Sharpay and Ryan's song, the "I Want It" song.
Yeah. Well, and
Um,
that song is like it's so iconic. Like the set was sick
the
on
set
that.
was so cool.
Hmm.
Like when I first read that, I was like, really? That's the song that almost got nominated out of all of them. But then when you think about it, it's like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Like just the scale of the song and the set and everything, and it's such a like Hollywoody song that it
Hmm.
would, of course, would have almost got
Yeah.
nominated for an Oscar. But so when I was reading up on this movie, something I found was so there was two Disney Channel movies made around this time. Both were made with the intention of getting a theatrical release, but
Mm.
Disney only felt that they had the budget to do a wide release for one of these movies, and they chose the Hannah Montana movie. Do you know what the other one was? Think about it.
2009.
Which, if I were to go back in time personally, I would have put this in theaters. I don't know if it would have made as much money. So that's why I'm not in charge of finances at Disney, but I would have put this movie in theaters over Hannah Montana.
Is it a musical one? Minutemen?
No, but I wish. It's Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie.
Was that made in 2009?
Hmm.
That was
It was
gonna
made around
be
the same time, anyways.
that was gonna be my other guess, but I felt like that came later. That's
Hmm.
crazy. I do think that
Let's,
that's a smart. Okay, no, that is a good decom though. I love Wizards of
yeah,
Waverly, and that makes sense because the scale of that one does feel a lot bigger.
yeah. Like when you look at the budget, like all Disney Channel original movies always have a look higher budget than the shows are. But specifically, like the Wizards of Waverly Place movie, you can tell that they had a significantly bumped up budget. So I wish they would have released that in theaters. Probably wouldn't have made as much money because Wizards is not as iconic as Hannah Montana is. But in an alternate reality, who knows? Maybe Wizards would have become more iconic than it already is had they
Yeah,
released it.
I mean, Wizards did become pretty iconic. They made 2 movies, and
Hmm.
they did a spin-off series for Disney Plus.
Yeah. Which is
So
not any good.
I don't know. I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
But okay, do you have any other fun facts or anything before we get into our semi rankings?
I'm thinking this is just a spur of the moment decision, but I have this pulled up. I think we should add a new category, and
Tell
that's
tell me.
did the critics get it right? So we pull up
Ooh,
like critic
fun.
reviews, like Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, Letterbox, and see like
See
do
what
did
they
the critics
did.
get it right? We can either do it at the end or do it at the beginning. I think just for this one we'll do it at the beginning
Yeah,
just because I
let's do
have
it
it pulled
now.
up, but maybe
Okay.
in later episodes we'll do it towards the end after we have our thoughts. But so We look at the Rotten Tomatoes score for Hannah Montana the movie, 44%. So rotten
Critics.
with 133 reviews, critics.
Okay.
67% audience score. So that's a net positive for the audience score. So with 250,000 reviews
I'm gonna say
for
that that
audience.
checks. I feel like that makes sense. I thought that the audience score would be higher, but I think on Letterboxd it might be.
Yeah. So Rotten Tomatoes, 44% for critics, 67% for audience. IMDb, there is just a 4.7 out of 10 with 47,000 or 500,000 reviews.
Love it. I would say that that's
Um,
right. I honestly feel like as a movie, those feel right for this.
mhm,
But
definitely.
for a decom, we'll have that discussion later.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. On Letterbox, out of 5 stars, this has a 3.4,
That's lower than I
which
thought it
is
would be, but still
I
high.
for me it was higher than I thought it was going to be because
I
I've
guess it's kind of
realized
hard to
recently
get. Yeah. Anyways, continue. Go ahead.
like Letterbox is I because I've been on Letterbox for a long time, and when I first joined Letterbox, it was kind of still the snooty film student type thing.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of developed into its own
Like social
totally
media
like social
thing.
media
Yeah.
platform. Like tons of people have it. So I was thinking still in the mindset of like, oh, people like my type of people are going to eat this up, like hate this movie.
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't realize. So if you look at, I might pull this up on the video so our audience can see as well. The If you look at a normal movie on Letterbox, usually the graph will be like very tipped to one side, where
Yeah.
you can very clearly tell like, oh, most people have the same opinion of this movie. Most people kind of agree with it. For this movie, that is not the
It's
case
all
at
across the
all.
board.
It's all across the board. Like there's not really too many below like 3 stars, but there's like tons 3 star. Let me look at the numbers. There's 40.7 thousand 3 stars, 23.7 3.5 stars, 38.7 4 stars, and then 50.2 thousand 5 stars out of 5.
Hey.
So I
The
think that just shows
thing
you the iconicness of this movie.
Yeah, well, and I think especially since I feel like Letterbox is kind of becoming like more of a like Gen Z thing
Hmm.
too. And it's funny how I determine how I rank movies on Letterbox because sometimes it's like, okay, I'm actually using a critical eye, and sometimes I'm like, this was straight nostalgia for me, and I love this movie, five
Definitely.
stars. And so like,
Uh-huh.
I think it was like the last time I looked the a movie that I was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny that it has such a high score on Letterboxd. It was Let It Shine, which I watched with my brother a couple weeks ago, and I was like, this is just so funny that like people just go in and they're like 5 stars.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm not gonna be for real. I'll probably do the same because it's a
Hmm.
decom. But
I mean, I gave the Minecraft movie 5 stars.
hey,
Does
sometimes
that
it's
movie
just
deserve five
it just
stars?
speaks
No.
to you.
Yeah.
It
It
just
just
speaks to you.
touches you
And
emotionally.
honestly, rewatching this movie, it really did touch my heart. So,
All right. Well,
but let's get into
so
our rankings. Oh wait, or what were you gonna
yes.
say?
Well, I was just gonna say like we'll need to iron out the details of this category, but do we think the critics got it right? Let's talk about like critics Rotten Tomatoes score first, and then we'll talk about like audience score, letterbox score next.
Yeah.
So
Um,
IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, about 45% ish average.
yeah, I think that's fair.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't think you go into a Disney Channel original movie and expect it to be more than that. Like, I
Hmm.
think you go into it knowing what you're getting yourself into.
Definitely.
And so that's why it kind of makes me laugh that critics even like look at this stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah, no, I think that's a fair. I wouldn't expect it to be higher than that.
Yeah, I think I would probably agree as well, especially because kind of what you were saying, it's just funny that critics will still watch this
Yeah.
movie, like movie critics watch this movie. And obviously, they're not going to think that this is high art by any means. So I think I'm honestly surprised it has that high of a
I
score.
was gonna say I've seen movies with a lot more like crazy talent, like insane budget and stuff that are ranked a lot lower than that on Rotten
Hmm.
Tomatoes and IMDb. So I'm like, hey, that's actually not bad.
Yeah. Let me double check, but I think this might have a higher Rotten Tomatoes score than Man of Steel.
Hey.
Let me double check. Okay, Man of Steel is higher, but not by much. It's 57%.
Mm, yeah,
So still
love it.
rotten.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And
And then
then
audiences, do you think they
audience
got it
score
right?
surprises me a little bit, but I think again it's more just like probably has been given in the
Hmm.
past, and I feel like if you would ask like younger adults now, it would probably be a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
just truly
interested,
based on nostalgia.
definitely.
But I think it's a decent movie. Is
I'd be
that
interested to see how many audience reviews have been added in the past like 5-ish years
yeah,
because there is like 250,000 people who have put a review for this thing on Rotten Tomatoes, which
maybe has
I don't
boosted it.
know, like, yeah, like I don't know how many people at that time were putting in their scores for Hannah Montana the movie on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's true.
So I'd
Um,
imagine it was recent. It kind of got boosted up.
I wonder what was I gonna say? Can't remember. Never mind. Love it.
Classic.
Okay.
Classic. I just talk too much and then anyways.
No, it's fine. Okay, moving on to Letterboxd.
Mhm. 3.4 out of 5.
I mean, I guess if you put it into like percentages, that's like almost a 70%.
Yeah.
So, hey, those are my people. Letterboxd, love you guys.
um well, if you like this category, I think I'm going to start reading some reviews and I'll have quotes and stuff about what the critics thought, what
Yeah, add
audiences
a
think. I
little
think that would be fun. Add a little
pizzazz
flavor
to
to
it.
it.
Yeah.
But if you think this category is cool, leave a comment down below and tell us if you want me to continue doing this or if you just want us to jump into the movie or what position you want it to be in at the end after we've given our thoughts or before we give our thoughts.
Yeah, where do you guys
Let
think
us
you want
know.
it to be? Also, let us know if you agree. Do you agree with the
Mm.
critic score?
I feel like a lot of times we won't agree with the critic, so
It's
I'm
true.
excited to
And I
read
think
up
it'll be
on this stuff.
fun. Yeah.
Hmm. All
Okay.
right.
Now we're getting into it.
Yes.
Thanks for sticking with us. We'll speed round through it. I feel like we
Hmm.
can since we're already at 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So to go over plot just like real quick, in Hannah Montana the movie, Miley Stewart struggles to balance her double life as a regular teen and a pop star, which is basically the premise of the show. So her dad takes her back to her Tennessee hometown to help her reconnect with who she really is. There she rediscovers her roots, falls for a local boy, and then ultimately reveals her secret identity. Kind of crazy. It was a big
They
moment.
spoil that. That's crazy.
But I love it. Okay, just going straight into plot, Garrett. I'd love to hear what you think.
Hmm. So I just watched this movie like an hour ago before like I finished it and then we kind of went to this because I wasn't dreading necessarily having to watch this movie, but I was like I do not want to watch the Hannah Montana movie. You know, when we've watched Clueless and How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and stuff,
It's like
at
that
some
has
point
Paul
the
Rudd,
movie,
that has Matthew
yeah, that has Paul Rudd, that
McConaughey.
has Matthew McConaughey, like big actors. Like it's a movie, it's a legit movie. Whether or not it's like how good it is, like it is a movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Disney Channel original movie, which, as we talked about, that's like Hallmark movies for kids, essentially. Um,
Exactly. I would say
so
that Dcoms are a step up above
I
Hallmark
would have to
movies.
agree. I would have to agree. But maybe that's just nostalgia talking. Who knows? Anyways, so I was dreading this. Maybe that's a strong word, but I wasn't looking forward to this. And whereas with Clueless, with How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, there was like a moment or a scene or something where I was like, I get it now. It might not be my favorite thing, but I get it and I'm enjoying myself. That never happened for this movie.
Boo.
So I gave plot a small bucket with no butter. So small bucket, the objective score.
Didn't enjoy any of it, Garrett.
I think like when we get to other categories, I'll have a little bit of butter added in, and we'll talk about that when we get there.
Okay.
But I think as far as objectively, the plot, it's kind of all over the place. Like there's so many things happening.
It's true.
There's, Miley trying to get her dad to tell her or let her be Hannah still. There's the romance with her and Luke, whatever, and her dad and his romance with Jan from The Office and her relationship with her best friend and like all of this stuff, along with what I learned a cutout plot with her brother, Jackson, who I love him. I think he's hilarious. So I wish they didn't cut out that plot. But that would have just added to how crazy this movie is. So there is a I didn't feel like there was enough time with really any of the plots for me to fully get attached to any of them. Like I didn't really care what was happening in any of them for the most part. And because of that, my subjective score, just my opinion, no butter. I just didn't really enjoy it because of that. Like I didn't get emotionally attached to anybody really or any plot that was going on.
That's okay, Garrett.
Hmm. So enlighten me, open my eyes, tell me what I'm not seeing.
I score, I think objectively again, I would probably just give it a small bucket. And then but for my butter, extra butter.
Hmm.
So opposite scale.
Yeah.
I do think again, we've been talking a lot about about nostalgia, but I do think that that's a big reason for me for this one. Obviously I enjoy the thing is that I think may have to be taken into consideration when it comes to plot is that we're looking at a movie that, first of all, is kind of, it's like based off of a TV show. So it's like, okay, that's a lot less plot to work with in the first place. Like, those are like
Hmm.
20-minute episodes. And then not only that, but we're trying to hold the attention of children. So, like,
Yes.
I think having a lot of different things going on is probably why they did it. Is because it's like,
Hmm.
okay, like, how do we keep kids interested? Whatever. I don't, obviously, it's easy to follow along with because it's for children. So I don't think
Hmm.
it was overcomplicated to the point where it's like, okay, like, we can't follow along with it because it's
It's
for
just
kids.
undercooked.
It's just undercooked, yeah, a little bit,
Yeah.
but I like it. I think I
Hmm.
do agree that there's like little parts of each plot point that like it's like oh we could have like done a little bit more with that but again the runtime is short so it's like okay they're trying to
Hmm.
hit a lot of different things. um I would say that the plot point that I enjoy the most is just like her relationship with her dad because I think that's the most constant throughout the
Hmm.
movie. It starts with them kind of fighting and then like about Hannah and stuff and then he's like hey we're going to Tennessee like whether you like it or not, and I'm gonna surprise you,
Hmm.
whatever. Then they like kind of just you see their relationship throughout it, which I think is goes with the show as well. Um, and then I think like I like the point in this movie where like she sees how her like secret identity is hurting herself, but also how it's hurting others with like her with her dad's relationship with Lorelai,
Hmm.
his love interest, and then she's like, okay, this is like affecting more than just me. And yeah, I just think that their relationship is really sweet in this movie. So I think that that's the biggest takeaway for me. It's definitely what hit me the hardest this time around because I love my dad,
Hmm.
and I think it's very tender. But other than that, it's a lot of just chaos.
Yeah. And I think
But yeah, go ahead.
when you compare the plot to like other DComs, um, because you bring up valid points of this is a movie for children, we got to keep them entertained and that type of stuff. But even when you look at something which is also based on a show, the Wizards of Waverly Place movie, that has a very clear plot. Like it has a very interesting, like immediately grabs you. Their parents forget about them. They got to figure out how to save themselves, and
Heartbreaking.
like there's so many this from the jump, or like you know what the plot is. You
Yeah.
can pick up on it pretty quickly. Whereas this, like you said, it's not overcomplicated. Like, it's her going back home, finding her roots or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's just so many things that go along with that that are undercooked. Whereas Wizards or even High School Musical, like they have their main plot and that's the story.
Yeah.
Whereas I think this just had so many.
Yeah, which I think is fair. And honestly, like, I'm not even gonna fight you on it, but I do think that, but I do think that it matches the vibe of the show, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
it's definitely like it transferred over, and that's probably why it's a little bit more
hmm
chaotic. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of montages in this film.
hmm It's like a Rocky movie. It's like Rocky 4 with how
Yeah,
many montages there are.
and I also do think
Um,
that like a lot of it does like that because I again, it's like barely a plot, but there's like little things that I'm just like, oh my gosh, like when I was a kid, like that
mhm.
was amazing. Like I just remember being like so into it. Like at the beginning when she like can't get to her concert because it's her and like it's Secret Identity.
Yeah.
Loved that. Ate it up. I loved like they were just like it's for kids and so I think just like having these little pieces that I was just
Mhm.
like, "Oh my gosh, I remember when I was a kid that I just like this whole storyline um whatever. Like I loved some of it,
Yeah.
but I give it extra butter,
I
but
think what would have added butter for me were like kind of like I said, the Jackson subplot. But I'm very upset that Rico and whatever Mitchell Musso's character's name is,
yeah.
like they're only in one scene.
I
Like I
know.
wish they
I know
were in
they're
it.
barely in
Somehow
it.
bring them to Tennessee or something.
I know. Then they'd have to
But
pay him.
shout out Mitchell Musso's haircut, which even for the time was terrible. Like it was awful.
Oh, good stuff. We love it.
hmm
Okay, did you have a favorite, least favorite scene?
Yeah, so my favorite scene I would say is the hoedown.
Your
Which it was
least
funny
favorite
because I
scene?
was no, my favorite scene, my
I
favorite
was like,
scene is the
what?
hoedown.
Sorry.
Which it was funny because I was watching that and I was like, this is just sinners for white people. Like this scene right here is just sinners for white people. Like you
Oh,
can't tell me Miley Cyrus didn't just pierce the veil like Sammy did in Sinners with her hoedown song. Like you
that
can't
is
tell me
cracking me up.
otherwise.
I
So
love
I
it.
think I like the hoedown because it just reminded me of Sinners. I was like, this is just Sinners for white people. And the hoedown song is it's a jam. So I liked it. And then my least favorite scene was the date slash dinner scene that kept going back and forth. I
Mm,
say least favorite, but it ends so hilariously where she just like keeps going
I
around
know. It's like how many
in
times did they go
this
around that
door.
door?
It's like, what do you just walk out? What are you doing? Why are you still in there?
It's for the
And
dramatic
then,
slow-mo effect. That
but
was
it's
heart-wrenching
so
as a
funny.
child.
Yeah, like it
And the
took
little fan.
the little girl who just randomly appears
I love it.
is so funny. And how what's his name? I can't remember his character's name in the movie, but Luke. What's the actor's name?
Lucas Till.
Lucas Till. When Lucas Till is so offended by it and so mad, and
His name is
it's
Travis in the
just
movie, I think.
also yeah. Why is Travis even going to the courthouse or wherever they are? Like, why is he
It's because
going
he
in?
saw her go in
He
there.
saw her go in.
Yeah.
Okay, then that makes
Yeah.
more sense. Because I was
That's
like, what is he
he's
doing here?
no, yeah, because he like gets the bell because he like saw her like because he could see he was right by the window. They could
Yeah,
see each other. So he like sees
yeah.
her walk in and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna get the bell and then he goes over there.
hmm
But yeah, no, it's very chaotic. That's actually funny that that's your least favorite scene because I
hmm
love that scene. Do you have any others?
No, I think like a lot of comedy movies have done the whole oh I have to be in two places at once thing. A lot of shows
Yeah,
have done that. A lot of comedies have done that,
you've just
and
seen
I
it done better.
think it just wasn't really done as funny or as well
Yeah,
as it could have been. Like Miss Doubtfire, if you ever seen Miss Doubtfire, they do that, and it's fantastic. It's hilarious
yeah.
with Robin Williams. But this, it was just like I'm not really getting anything from this. It's just
Except for the
also just
heartbreak.
the plausibility of
I
it all
know
is
of
like,
like how long she's gone and then like she's there for like
uh,
2 seconds. Yeah. Um, okay, well, love it. That was definitely a
mhm.
stressful scene for me as a child.
It's like,
Um,
oh no, is she gonna
oh
get caught? Oh no,
no,
yeah.
oh no, because I want her to love Travis and be with
hmm
him. Anyways, um, okay. My least favorite scene, I think, basically anything that has to do with the reporter. I think that you could get rid of him and make
The
this
movie
movie
does not
better.
change.
It
Yeah.
doesn't really change. Um, he's just there to just be a menace to society for no reason. And I don't even think
Mhm.
he's funny or entertaining. So like the whole point, the whole like farmer's market scene when he's like eats a salsa and like I've always hated that. Like I'm just like I don't care.
Mhm.
Get this man off my screen. Um,
Yeah.
but without him we wouldn't have Natalia Dyer in it. So like whatever.
That started her career, her first on-screen performance, I read.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So probably anything that has to do with him. Um, but my favorite scenes, I would say, are parts of the hoedown for sure, especially Taylor Swift being there, which I just think is crazy to think about. Like there was a time that like she was in a Hannah Montana movie and
Yeah.
Hannah Montana was bigger. You know, like Miley Cyrus was
Yeah.
like
Like
the main
boosting her
act.
career.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like first of all, that's just wild. Second of all, I love all the like homey feeling scenes. So like when she like goes to her grandma's house at night, I don't remember quite why or what they're doing, but like Rascal Flatts is just like playing on the porch singing God Bless the Broken Road and she's like talking to her grandma.
Mhm.
Um I love the oh my gosh guys, the scene where she first gets to Tennessee and Blue Jeans takes her wig off and then she's like, "Oh my gosh, it's Blue Jeans, it's my horse." And then
Mhm.
she like has this like moment and she like flips her hair when Travis so legendary.
Mhm.
I love that moment. I wanted her hair so bad as a kid. I was like,
Yeah.
I need Miley Cyrus's hair. And just that whole scene where she's just like, oh my gosh, flirting with him.
Speaking of
It's
the
so
blue
funny.
jeans horse, it was funny because I recognize that there are no blue horses. But when that first happened, she was like, blue jeans. It's like, this horse is white. What are you talking about? And then it took me a second to be like, oh, okay.
You're
Yeah,
like,
there's no
ah,
blue horses. Yeah.
yeah. Which also, yeah, love Blue Jeans. He's in the movie. I mean, he's in the show at points too.
Really?
Yeah. And
That's cool.
then I, of course, love. Sorry, I love a lot about this movie. But I love the part when after the spinning door scene.
Hmm.
When her and her dad have like the heart to heart moment, they sing
Yeah.
Butterfly Fly Away. Love that song, so tender. There's also some like kind of pretty shots in this movie. Like I'm like, oh, okay,
Hmm.
they did a good job. And then I definitely think this is a pretty cinematic movie for being
A
what it
decom.
was.
Hmm.
I don't know if you would agree, but like I was like, oh, okay. Like there are some like cool shots in this. Anyways, and then my last one is the end with like the climb and then the final song. So
Hmm.
I love it all. Basically, just the whole movie. Any good part, I
Yeah.
like it. But it's all just like
Except the reporters, the
except for the
paparazzi
reporter.
guy.
Literally everything in this
Yeah.
movie except for the reporters in it. I also love the there's one song in this movie for her like transition to like enjoying time in Tennessee and like her date with Travis and stuff that I like love and I unironically like listen to that on my own.
Hmm.
There's a few
Definitely.
of those from this movie. Crazier by
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs.
Hmm.
Genuinely, so good.
I don't even like Taylor Swift that much, but I was like, why am I kind of feeling this song? Like, this is a good
It's
song.
Kate, if that is a great song. I love it.
Hmm.
I eat it up. Okay, awesome. We will speed through the rest of this because, of course, we're yappers and we just
I mean, that's why we have a podcast.
yappers yap. Okay,
Yeah.
um, but what would you give character?
I
And we
gave
don't have to go through
character,
everybody, but you know.
yeah, I gave character a medium bucket with a bit of butter. I think Hannah Montana as a character, just let's just say the whole cast, but specifically Hannah Montana, I think is only as iconic as they are because of our generation. Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think boomers know who Hannah Montana is. I don't think, generation, a couple like, I don't think if we weren't the older siblings to our younger siblings who aren't Gen Z or are late Gen Z or whatever, I don't think they would think Hannah Montana is as iconic as she is just because our generation, she was so iconic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there is an argument to be made that had Miley Cyrus not like hard rebranded after and became like a whole crazy different artist, I don't think Hannah Montana would be as iconic. It's because Miley Cyrus is still in the public eye and in like popular media and stuff like that that I think Hannah Montana is as iconic. But all that to say, it's still Hannah Montana. Like she's still as iconic to our generation.
Yeah.
So that's why I gave it a medium bucket because it's objectively she is a icon of the early 2000s for our generation, late 2000s, early 2010s. And then yeah, bit of butter because I enjoy these characters a decent amount. Like I don't really care about Miley all that much, honestly. I think her comedic timing isn't very great, honestly, but I do like Billy Ray. I don't hate Miley. I think she's fine. And then I like Jackson and wish he was in the movie more.
Yeah.
Travis, I don't care about. He wants to build a chicken farm.
Hey, Travis. Travis opened my eyes to the world of cowboys, you know?
That's true.
The
Who
O
did she end up with in the show?
That is a
Because
great
there's like the
question. There
movie
is a
star
love
guy.
triangle.
Yeah.
There was a love triangle. I don't know if you remember
Uh,
between Jake and Ryan. Was it Ryan? Anyways, I'm
uh,
Team Jake, obviously, since that's the one that I remembered. But okay, cool. Character, I would agree with like the medium bucket. Obviously, I would give it just butter, like regular butter.
mhm,
Maybe extra butter. Why not? She obviously meant
mhm.
a lot to me in my childhood. Um, I remember I sang, a Taylor Swift song in my for my second grade talent show, to get an iPod from my parents. They said that if I made it to the like final round, that I would get an iPod. And I vividly remember my dad played the guitar for me while I sang. I think I
Yeah.
sang "You Belong with Me," and I remember he was like, "We need to practice. Like we gotta practice." Like one night, he was like, "Let me, like, I'm gonna pull out my guitar. Like, let's do it." And I remember being like, "Dad, no, like, I don't care. I don't want to practice." And he said to me, he was like, "Do you think that Hannah Montana doesn't practice? You think that when her dad says we need to practice, that she says no? Like, that's why
hmm
she's famous. She practices." And I was like, "Dad, I don't want to."
That's
So
so funny.
and I don't know why that is like such a ingrained in my brain, but it
You
was
had your own Hannah
apparently
Montana
made a
phase.
mark.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
funny.
But I love Hannah Montana. I think that obviously
hmm
that's the main character for that. So,
Also,
um,
if you know the context of the Cyrus family as a whole, that story's a lot more, or is a lot funnier because it's like, do you think because Billy Ray kind of pushed it a little
basically
bit,
forced
so
her.
it's
Yeah,
yeah, so it's very funny that like in context, that's a very funny
I
story.
know, but like it
Mm.
worked. Like I was like, oh,
It
he's probably
did.
right. You know.
You got the iPod.
Yeah, I did get the iPod, guys. I made it to the
hmm
final round, got the iPod, and I sang Taylor Swift. So very on brand
hmm
for this movie. Okay. Aesthetic. What would you give it? Let's just I mean, yeah, just go for it.
Yeah, I just gave it. I'd probably give it a medium bucket because, like you said, it is like a pretty good looking movie, especially for being a Disney Channel original movie. I don't think it's beautifully shot, but it's there are some shots where I was like, oh, it's a good lit shot. It looks good. It's definitely better than I was expecting. So I would definitely better than a Hallmark movie
Yeah,
type
for
of
sure.
shot and stuff. And then just a bit of butter because I honestly wanted a little bit more hometown vibes, like the big open field scenes. Like
They are
there's only a few
so
of those.
yeah, the big open field scenes are like the most beautiful ones in the
Uh,
movie. Yeah.
like there should have been, I'm rewatching Smallville right now with one of my roommates, and there's so many scenes with Clark and Lana in a big field as they're just like having a conversation, or like I wanted a Smallville vibe, not in the sense of comic book, but just in the sense of like that homey
Yeah,
farm
that
town
vibe.
feeling,
Yeah.
where I don't think it fully got it for
Yeah.
me.
It's because they had to give you the best of both worlds. It can't be all one thing. You got to have the pop star in there, Garrett.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
No, I agree. Um,
uh,
I gave it a medium bucket as well, but
yeah,
I wouldn't give it actually. I would give this butter. Like again, I think that it's well done for the context of the film, and yeah, I mean, there's nothing really like outstanding. Like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. But
yeah.
okay, love it. And then okay, let's talk music, and then give me your favorite song or like musical moment from the show or
Yeah.
the movie.
Originally, I gave it a medium bucket, but just talking about it and kind of thinking about it, I've realized how iconic a lot of these songs have become.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hoedown, I feel like was on the radio forever. The Climb is you'll still hear that every once in a while. So I'd probably give it a large bucket, not extra large, just a large bucket, because I do think there are some songs in here that it just I've never heard of
Yeah,
ever.
for sure.
But like The Climb is very iconic and stuff like that. And I'm not a country guy, so I gave it a bit of butter because there are some songs that I did enjoy in this, but I'm just not a big country guy, so a lot of the country oriented music just I didn't
Didn't
really
speak
like.
to you.
But my favorite song, probably The Climb, honestly. Like it's the most famous song of this movie for a reason. It was the
Yeah,
most popular song of this movie for a reason. I think it is genuinely a very good song.
love it. Um, I would have to agree. Large bucket. And then I would give it extra butter. Like I said, I unironically listen to a lot of the music from this movie.
Hmm.
I think that like um, God Bless the Broken Road obviously was like not for this movie, but it is in the movie soundtrack. So like that is an iconic song, very memorable from my childhood. The Climb is amazing. A couple other ones that I love. There's the movie, I mean the song Dream, which is what I was talking about from that like montage part. I love that song. And then Butterfly Fly Away. I know that like one of my good friends like wants to use that song for like her daddy daughter dance when she gets married. So like
Hmm.
I do think that like again this has a lot of great music from it. Again, one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs, Crazier, which is was made for this movie. And then Taylor Swift also wrote the song at the end of the movie, which is "You'll Always Find Your Way Back Home." So I do think that
Hmm.
that song, not just because I am a Swiftie, I love Taylor Swift. For those who don't know, not just because that song was written by Taylor Swift, but I do think that that's like a really fun song, and like encapsulates a lot of
Hmm.
what this movie is about. And my favorite out of those, I would say, is The Climb because again, just how iconic it is. Um,
100%.
Obviously, we wouldn't get that. We wouldn't have got that song if this movie didn't exist. So,
Yeah.
love that. And then, Garrett, what would you give it for entertainment value?
Um,
Or I guess not give it, but like, how did you feel overall?
I was pretty not entertained. Like there were moments where I was entertained, but I was pretty just kind of like I can't really see myself ever rewatching this. Like if I eventually down the line like a girlfriend says, "Hey, let's watch this movie," or my sisters want to watch it, I will actively be like, "Let's watch Clueless instead," or "Let's watch this movie
At
instead."
least I've given you a couple other alternatives for
Yeah.
them.
I didn't hate it as much as I might sound like I did. Like I didn't hate the movie, but there just wasn't really a single scene. Even the hoedown, it's my favorite scene, but there wasn't something where I was like locked in.
Yeah.
Whereas the other movies that you've picked, there has been at least one scene where I'm like locked in. So I'd say it's an entertaining movie for sure. Like I wouldn't say don't watch it, but if you are a person like me, you probably aren't going to get much out of this.
It
So
probably didn't help that you were dreading it too. I've been
yeah.
there. I've been on that side of it, Garrett. I get it.
Uh-huh. But there's been times where, for example, I think specifically with Clueless, I was like, I don't want to watch this. But then I watched it and I like ended up enjoying
And
myself
yeah.
afterwards.
Well, and same here.
So
There's been some movies that I'm like, I don't want to watch this, and then I've liked. So,
yeah,
for me, if you love cheesy films made for children, that give similar vibes to like High School Musical and such, watch it. I
hmm,
love this movie. I find it very entertaining. Um, and I think a lot of people of my demographic would agree.
definitely.
So go for it if you're wanting to feel, and especially if you've seen this movie again, like before, like when you were a kid, I would say to give it a shot again, just to feel the
Hmm.
feelings, feel the vibes, just to get some nostalgia in there.
Just to climb.
Just yeah, it's life's a climb, but the view's great, right? Okay, I think for me when to watch this movie is very clear, and it is the
I'm gonna
summer
agree.
vibes.
There's no other time to watch this movie.
Like obviously I picked it dead of the summer. So
Hmm.
and I probably wouldn't watch it in at any other time. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, okay. Glad we agree on that. Is there a mood that you would suggest watching this for? Maybe
If
not
you're
for
in
you, but for somebody who does enjoy the movie. Yeah,
nostalgic mood for sure.
love it. Yeah, when you're in
Yeah,
the vibes to, relive your childhood. Okay,
definitely.
incredible. Did we want to do a little ranking? Oh, wait, no. What is your score overall?
I think I'd probably give it um overall. I think I would have given it a small bucket, but I think the soundtrack boosts that up. So overall, objectively, I'd probably say it's like a medium popcorn bucket, and then my opinion, just give it a little bit of butter.
Love it.
What about you?
I would agree with the popcorn bucket. I feel like we have kind of started to align ourselves on the popcorn bucket rankings, which means that we're doing a
Yeah.
good job because it's objective, of course.
Uh,
But medium popcorn bucket, and then again, I'd give it extra large. Why not? I mean,
mhm.
extra, not extra large,
Extra butter.
extra butter. I'm like,
Yeah.
but yeah, butter that baby up. I love it.
Mm.
Okay, great. Now, do we want to do a little ranking of like DComs? Like throw a couple
Mm.
out there and then we'll just kind of where does this fall in the land of DComs?
Okay. So in my tier list of Disney Channel original movies, I think S tier, top tier, is probably Minutemen and Lemonade Mouth. I think are legitimately good movies. Like those are the two
Okay.
DComs where I would say Minutemen I think is up there because of nostalgia. Lemonade Mouth I think is up there because it's like legitimately it's a good movie.
Did you know
Like I'm not
Minutemen was
saying
filmed in Utah?
really I didn't know that.
Mm.
Wow, shout out. Um, I legitimately really enjoy both of those movies. I think out of because it's iconic, I'd probably put High School Musical up in S tier as well.
Yeah, just the
And
first one?
then, yep, I would put three. I think three is my favorite, though I do need to rewatch two. So,
Mm.
but I think just High School Musical overall, I would probably put S A tier, those
Yeah, for
over
sure.
that range. And then probably a little bit down the line, um, Wizards of Waverly Place, the first Teen Beach movie,
Mm-hmm.
probably just Halloween Town. I don't know if I'd pick one specifically, but just all
Mm-hmm.
together Halloween Town and Camp Rock probably would be
Mm-hmm.
up there as well.
Wait, which
And
ones?
then
Wait, what did you say at the beginning of A tier?
A tier at the beginning was Wizards
Okay, yeah.
and yeah. And then moving down, I would say probably the Sweet Life movie. The Sweet Life movie is weird, man.
I couldn't even tell you what it's about. I don't know
It's
when
like
I've seen that.
it's weird sci-fi. It gets into like cloning and stuff, and it's just
Yeah,
like
I don't even know
I
that
don't
I've
think
seen it.
it's weird that you can say this, but I'm pretty sure I looked it up one time and it's not like canon to the actual Sweet Life of Zach and
Hmm,
Cody universe, but
interesting.
it's a weird movie. It is very weird. So I'd probably put that and this Hannah Montana the movie together, probably around like C tier. I'd put Teen Beach Movie 2 in B tier, so a little bit above.
Okay.
I I think I might enjoy Teen Beach Movie 2 more than the first one, but the ending is terrible. I hate the
Well,
ending
I
of
was
Teen
gonna
Beach Movie
say,
2.
what are you talking about? That movie ruined itself. Yeah.
The yeah, the ending of Teen Beach 2 to this day still makes me upset
No, it's actually ridiculous. But
because I think
anyways,
those movies are so fun and the soundtracks are so good.
yeah, there's those are some
Uh,
really fun movies.
yeah.
Um,
What are yours? Because I kind of can't remember any other ones.
no, I love that. I think that's great. I would agree with all of that. I obviously would put High School Musical up in A tier. I mean S tier.
Hmm.
Um, I personally would put Hannah Montana the movie up a little higher. Probably I might put Hannah Montana like maybe between A and B tier. And then a couple that you missed. Cheetah Girls I think is probably
Oh
an A
yeah.
tier.
Hmm.
I think you could put Lizzie McGuire the movie in like a B tier because I don't think I think the vibes are iconic, but I think
Hmm.
like overall story wise it's not as good.
Sing for
Um,
me, Palo.
Sing for me. Yeah, so definitely iconic, but I don't think as good of a movie overall. And I do think
Yeah.
that the Cheetah Girls would be spread out. Like I would put it like just because not all of the Cheetah Girls movies are made the same. And then I'm trying to think what else you missed that I was like, oh, I should add that one. Um, but yeah, we'll just stick with that for now because I can't think of any
Hmm.
others. But
I
yeah.
feel like there are more seasons. Oh, Good Luck Charlie the movie.
Good Luck Charlie, It's Christmas.
Hmm. I'd
That's
put
up
that like
there.
A tier. Yeah,
I'm
I'd put that like
genuinely, I
A
watch
tier.
that movie every single Christmas.
Yeah.
Some that we didn't mention, I think are like a little bit before our time. Like I know that there's
Hmm.
some that I like just genuinely haven't seen. Um, but yeah, no. Good Luck Charlie, It's Christmas up there for me. I watch that and Drake and Josh's Christmas almost every December.
Hmm.
Not even kidding. Um, Let me see if I can. I'm gonna look up and see if there's any other ones that I feel like need to be added. Oh, Descendants, I feel like needs to be added.
Ugh.
Even though it is like, okay, here's the thing. The first Descendants, I do think is actually good. Like, I would put that in A or B, but the other ones, I would probably put C or D. Like,
Yeah. I would probably put I'd put the first one probably A or B. I don't necessarily enjoy it that much, but for personal reasons, I think overall, like in on the decom scale, it's pretty good. Like it's fine.
yeah.
I just don't like Dove Cameron, and I could not
Really?
tell you why. I just don't like Dove Cameron. There's
That's
something
actually
about
fair.
Dove Cameron that I just don't like, and I don't know why. Everybody else in that cast I really like. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
I hate Dove Cameron. It's just I don't know why. I don't know when or how, but at some point she rubbed me the wrong way, and I just haven't been able to get over that since.
That's so funny. Honestly, I understand that. I think she is kind of like you love her, hate her. Okay, I actually have a couple more to add before we get into the movie for you.
Hmm.
Jump in.
Oh goodness, I haven't seen that in so
I
long.
haven't seen it in ages, but it's basically like a boxing movie, but it's actually just jump rope, right?
Yeah, knee jerk reaction. I'm probably putting A or B,
Yeah, I was
even though
gonna
it's
say
been
B.
years. Yeah.
Princess Protection Program, which oh my gosh, is so near and dear to my heart. I love that movie. I actually think I watched that movie for the first time the day that I broke my elbow. Fun fact for you. Which was in between first and second grade. And I
That movie's
probably
that old? Dang.
yes. And I put that at I'd put it at B tier, but if
Hmm.
it was based off of my heart, I'd put it in S tier. Cadet Kelly, which is another one with Hilary Duff. I would put
Hmm.
that again, like I want to give it so much higher, but
Hmm.
in the scope of things, I would probably put it in like a C tier.
I'd probably put it
Um,
C. The Even Stevens movie. I have
Wendy
not.
Wu, Homecoming
Oh,
Warrior.
how do we forget that one? That I think is A. That one's got to be A.
That
That
one I love.
scene,
Oh, Let
the
It
ending
Shine.
scene,
What
Let
am
It
I
Shine.
talking about? Oh my gosh,
Let
guys,
It
there's
Shine
so
is
many.
because of the memes. Let It Shine is an S, but
Oh
overall,
yeah,
I'd probably
for
put like
sure.
A or B. But I need to say something about the Wendy Wu movie.
Tell
The
me.
last like 15 minutes of that movie, where she's like fighting the statue guys,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
always had me locked in. Like every
I
time
can
that
just
movie came
imagine little
on,
Garrett just
just so
just
invested in this
dialed.
fight. I don't even know if it's good choreography or not. This is just pure vibes for that. I remember just I was always
Just based
so
off of
invested.
your memories of that movie. There's
Yeah.
also a bunch of like random like sports ones from um
Johnny, what's it called? What's it
Johnny
called?
Tsunami.
Johnny Tsunami.
Bells. That one's like probably
Hell bells.
C or D tier, but
Hmm.
there's so many good
Twitches.
ones, guys. Twitches. I honestly never got into Twitches, but I know people love that one. I just would rather watch um Halloween Town, which my
Hmm.
mom hates the Halloween Town movies. I love them. I used to watch them every Halloween, and
Yeah.
then I stopped watching Halloween movies, kind of. But
I
um,
think
yeah,
Twitches too, the villain, he's like a shadow man. He's like the main villain of the first one carried over. That like legitimately scared me as a kid. I don't know why, because it's not even that scary. But for that reason, I think I have oddly an affinity for that movie because it's like it always was spooky. It always brought the Halloween spirit.
yeah.
So yeah,
I also think what's the one Monster Girl versus Monster?
Girl vs. Monster. Oh, We should
Okay,
have
the
just done a
song.
decom episode.
We
We
just
should have
need to
just done a
do,
decom
yeah.
episode.
No, but maybe we can do a bonus episode sometime just where we talk about our
Yeah.
favorite DComs. But Girl versus Monster, the song Had Me at Hello, another song that I will
Hmm.
unironically listen to. But the monsters in that movie low key scared me, and I was probably too old to be scared by them. But
Yeah.
um, okay, maybe we just ended at that. But there's so many good ones, and that's not even including the like animated ones like Kim Possible the movie and like Phineas and Ferb, because those are considered
See,
DComs too.
those ones, like the animated decoms, if I didn't put it in S or A tier, I think every other decom, even some of them in S and A tier, they're not like actual movies, right? They're like Hallmark movies for kids. The animated movies, though, those are legit
Those are
movies. Like the
movies.
Kim Possible movie has like death in it. Like the Phineas and Ferb movie is crazy.
Okay,
Like
and
it's so
there's
emotional.
several Phineas and Ferb movies too, because they did like
Yeah.
the Phineas and Ferb movies with like the like Star Wars characters too and stuff. Like
Hmm.
it's just so random. But anyways, okay, since we did not reach our goal of staying under our
Short
time,
episode.
we'll just wrap it up. Sorry that we like to yap. I hope that everybody who listens to these listens to it in 2 times speed because
Yeah.
you should. If you haven't done
Hmm.
that, start doing it now.
Start doing that. Yeah. So my next pick, I'm really going back and forth on a few things because we're gonna do a Superman episode
Yes,
when that comes
sir.
out. We might do a Fantastic Four episode depending on how much we like the movie. Um, but in the meantime,
What is your heart telling you?
I've wanted to do the Planet of the Apes movies for so long, but my heart is telling me to do something different. We're gonna pull an audible,
I love it.
and I'm feeling it's time for the Prince of Egypt episode.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Hmm.
I actually love that
So
movie. It'll be a
Prince
good
of
Sunday
Egypt,
film for me.
definitely, and I
Oh,
have
good
so many things to
music.
talk about. Hmm.
Ah!
So Prince of Egypt
Yay!
episode is my next pick. Go watch Prince of Egypt, form your own opinion on it. Come listen to our podcast. Watch the Hannah Montana movie if you want to. Like and subscribe, and leave a comment on just movies you would want us to watch because we're going to start doing more audience pick movies here soon. So leave a
Yes.
comment on what movies you would want us to watch and what you'd want us to talk about with them,
And
and some fun
my
question
next pick
ideas.
might be an audience movie. I'm not even kidding. I was thinking about it. So
Oh.
if you want to speak now, do it. Because I will be picking from the audience.
So thank you for listening. We'll see you in the next one.
All right. Yay.